And if you see, there's always a pattern, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. See, they repeat. This one here is C. So we've got these two. The one right below it is C. So the name of the notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B. You could say we could start here at A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But what about the other notes, right? These ones here, the black ones. This is C, this is C sharp, D sharp, E, F, or E sharp. Whenever you move from one note to the next one, this is gonna be a half step. And whenever you go up 2 notes, this is gonna be a whole step. So half a step up, half a step up, half a step up, half a step, half a step. Half a step, half a step, half a step, half a step, etc. Half a step, and half a step up. All right. If you go 2 notes up, then it's a whole step. Whole step. Whole step. Whole step, right? So this is half a step, or whole step, half a step, etc. Okay? So there is no black note in between E and F, no black note in between B and C. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, or E, E sharp. But generally E, F, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, etc. Right? Now if you go down instead of going up, instead of sharp, you're gonna call them flats. So, for example, B, B flat, A sharp. So this note could be called B flat or A sharp. A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C. In a guitar, same thing. Half a step, half a step, half a step, whole step, whole step, whole step. Half steps or whole steps. The only difference is that there are not white and black notes. They are all half steps. And if you want a whole step, there's just 2 half steps. All right, so notes, check. Let's move to scales now. We're gonna talk about 2 types of scales, major scales and minor scales. And with that, you've got all you need for 80 or 90% of the music that you're gonna write. And please don't kill me on the comments. There are more scales than that. Yes, there are more scales than that, but we're gonna start with the basics. So, if you start from C and just use white notes, you're gonna get a major scale. And if you start from A and just use white notes, you're gonna get a minor scale. And they sound different. You could say that the major scale sounds a little bit happier and the minor scale sounds a little bit sad. We're not here to discuss this at the moment. Now, if you wanna know more, Wikipedia major scale. Voila! A major scale is a combination of whole tone, half tone, whole, half. So 2, 1, 3, 1. So you can see here all the major scales. The C major scale, D, E, F, G, A, B. And as you can see, some of them use black notes. So there are different ways of memorizing the combination of white and black notes for each scale. There's a graphic here. I'm not gonna get into this. Honestly, the best way to learn this is practicing. You learn to speak practicing, you learn music by practicing. Yes, go ahead and print this, have it on your desk as reference initially, but then it'll become second nature at some point. And the same thing for minor scales, Wikipedia minor scale, and voila, again, whole, half, whole, half, whole. So it's a combination of 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. And to prove this is the minor one. So whole step, half, whole step, half a step, whole step, and whole step. By the way, do you need to be able to read notes? It's nice, but not really, because when you're composing with a sequencer, you don't really see notes in a score. You rather see MIDI notes in a piano roll, which looks a little bit like a piano. But just in case, let's just get this out of the way. And if we had these 5 lines here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is a staff. This is the treble clef. This would be the C note. This one here. C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. If you want to make them sharp, C, C sharp. This is how. And if you want to make them flat, for example, this is B, B flat. Scales, check. intervals. Let's super simplify this and let's say that there are two types of intervals. If we start from C and use a major scale, seconds, thirds, sixths, and sevenths are major, fourths, fifths are perfect. So this is a major second because 1, 2. This is a major third because 1, 2, 3. This is a perfect fourth because 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a perfect fifth, a major sixth, and major seventh. Major intervals, when you go half a step down, become minor, and when you go half a step up, become augmented. Major third, minor third, augmented third, but also becomes a perfect fourth. So there's a little bit of overlap here. Perfect intervals, when you move half a step down, become diminished. When you move half a step up, become augmented. Perfect fifth, diminished fifth, augmented fifth. Now, the diminished fifth is also known as tritone, and this is a very cool interval. We're gonna use it often for like tension and suspense, stuff like this. How do you build a major second interval if you don't start from C? Let's first understand how many half steps each interval has. Minor second has 1 half step. The major second has 2 half steps, 1 and 2. The minor third has 1, 2, 3, and the major third has 4. 5 for the perfect fourth and 6 for the tritone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half steps for the perfect fifth, 8 for the minor sixth, 9 for the major sixth, 10 for the minor seventh, 11 for the major seventh, and 12 is the octave. So if you want to build the major third interval starting from A flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, major third interval starting from A flat. Chords. We're gonna stick with triadic chords. We're not gonna talk about extended chords. The two most important chords are major and minor chords. Are there more chords? Yes, but let's just stick with the basics, and if you wanna know more, I don't know, I'll give you access to a free video from our harmony course when it's done developing. If I forget, remind me in the comments.
Make a promise, keep a promise.
I took my first piano lesson about 25 years ago. I went to a small school, so I was the kid who played piano in my class. And my teacher asked me, do you want to do the piano accompaniment for the Christmas carols this year? And I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to. And then I realized that I can read music, but I don't know how to do accompaniment or compose music. So I asked my piano teacher, and he said, the 3 most important chords are the first, fourth, and fifth. And 80-90% of the popular music is built upon these chords. Now, again, don't destroy me in the comments, it's what he said, not what I say, but let's go with that. 1, 4, 5. Now let's go back to those major and minor chords. 3 questions. How do we build a chord? A chord is a combination of thirds. Can it be a combination of fourths? Yes, it can. But let's just stick with the basics. So we are skipping this one and we are skipping this one. Question number 2. How do we build a major chord? A major chord is a combination of a major third first and the minor third second. A major third and the minor third. The major third is 4 half steps and the minor third is 3 half steps. This is the C major chord. And question number 3, how do we build a minor chord? A minor chord is a combination of a minor third first and a major third second. Minor third, major third, C minor chord. Now back to my teacher's 3 most important chords, 1, 4, 5. Now do you have to know the name of these chords, tonic, subdominant, Yes, absolutely, because then you can beat another composer who knows more music theory. I know more music theory, and that's gonna get me more gigs as opposed to being able to write music that sounds great. No, you don't. Well, it's nice, but you don't. 1, 4, 5. All right, second part of the class, so pay attention to this because it's gonna be good, I guess. Now, here's where most of the learn the basics of music theory in 10 minutes videos end. Well, at the end of the day, you've learned intervals, notes, chords, scales. If you want to know how to use all these things to actually compose music, check out my $30 course link in the description, right? We are not gonna do this. See, I used to do the phone calls for an enrollment process for one of our courses and to see if the student was a good fit for the course. And one of the most asked questions was, I can hear the music in my head, but I don't know how to extract that idea on paper or sequencer. So here's how you do it. Number one, if you actually do hear the music in your head, the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna try to extract the melody. So let's say that we are hearing the piano roll in the melody and our head sounds something like to-do-di-dam, tom-din, tom, tom, tom. De-do-da-di, de-do-da-di, de. So this is the melody. Now the second step is adding emotion, and the chords are gonna do that, harmony, right? So how do we choose the right chords? Remember the 3 chords, 1, 4, 5? We're gonna find the rest points in the melody, and we are gonna put a chord underneath the melody, and the chord has to include the note of the rest point in the melody.
Say that again.
The chord has to include the note of the rest point in the melody.
Got it.
For example, rest point, rest point, rest point. Torori, chord, chord, chord. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but it's a choice. To me, these are 3 rest points. So this note here is an A. Which chord has an A note? We've got the first, has no A note. This is the A note. We've got the 5th, has no A note. This is the A note. And the fourth has an A note. Huh. Oh, that's interesting. So we've got the first chord, and then here in the rest point, we've got the 4th chord. Next rest point is a G note. We use the 5th, which has that G note. And then the last rest point here is an E. We used the 1st, which has the E. Let's keep moving. And this is how you do it. And it's not easy at the beginning. You just have to practice about 10,000 hours and then it becomes second nature. Now, let me simplify it for you. You see, we've got these 3 chords and these are the 3 most important, right? 1, 4, 5. Now this is the first, right? If you move these 2 fingers up a note, it becomes the 4th. So 1, 4, 1, 4. If you move these 2 fingers down a note, it becomes the 5th. All right, so you keep practicing, and when it becomes second nature, then you are allowed to add 2 more chords, the 3rd and the 6th, and those in a major scale are minor chords. And they are super cool because they add a different color. This is the 1st. Right? This is the 4th, 5th. The 6th is this one, and it's minor. And the 3rd is this one, 1, 2, 3. And it's minor. And it allows us to do things like... That was 1, 4, 1. But then... Right, that was the 6th. Minor. 4 major, and that's the 5th. Now let's talk for a second. How do I know which chord to choose? Because sometimes we've got several options, right? If we have a rest point with the A note, we've got several chords. We've got the 4th or the 6th, right? We've got the C note. We can use the 1st or the 4th or the 6th. Which one do we use? So I think you're gonna like this. So the hero's journey. Everything in life is a journey, right? If you're not familiarized with that term, just Google Joseph Campbell hero's journey. But basically it goes like this. It's a circle, starts here, ends here. Here's where you are now. Here's the call. Here's the threshold. Here's the learning process. And here's the coming back, right? So every Hollywood movie goes through this structure. Now, what does have to do with music? Well, music is a journey as well. We're always telling a story with music, especially if you're doing music for media where you are supporting an already written story. So I like actually separating the chords in 3 groups, right? If we've got the center or home, then we've got the call, right? And this is the return home. I like separating them with 1 is home and 5 is sort of like the return, like call back home. Now the 4th and the 6th and the 3rd are like the call, expansion, exploration. And the 2nd sort of wants to go back here, the initiation to the call back home, and then this is the call back home sort of thing. So let's say that this is home, this is C, this is the first chord, this one here. Here's where we start telling a story, right? We are starting to, this is the 4th, we're starting to explore. This is the 5th, wants to go back to 1. And this is the story that we told, very short story, obviously. But there's always sort of like, here we are, and then these are the chords that expand or add color, and these are the chords that calls us back home, sort of thing. All right, so for example, 1. 4. Back home. 2, that wants to go to 5. 5. Back home. 3. 4. Still here. 5. And 1. Now, so we have said that the most important chords are 1, 4, 5. So 1, 4, and 5. And then once you practice and become second nature, then we can use the 6th and the 3rd. All right, so this is for major keys. This is for minor keys. Let's say that we are in C major. When we're in a major key, these chords are major. And these chords are minor, all right? This is major key. When we're in a major key, for example, C major. When we're in a minor key, for example, C minor, then these chords are minor, and there are exceptions. But let's stick with the basics. And these chords are major. This is just one way of seeing it. We can theorize it with theory, we can discuss many things, but let's stick with this one for now. All right, so this is a very profound moment. This is where everything comes together. If we use these chords in a major key, then the type of emotions that we are going to create are going to be positive and love emotions. Something like this. And if we use the same chords in a minor key, then the type of emotions that we are going to create are negative emotions and sadness. Something like this. Now, the last thing is, what if we challenge this, right? What if instead of respecting this diatonic relationship between these chords, what if we just use major chords or minor chords, no matter what connection there are between them? So what I'm saying is, what if I connect chords that are just major? For example, if I start with C major, and then I move to E flat major, and then I go to G flat major, something like this. If I go from C major to E flat major, when we do things like this, then we enter the realm of fantasy and magic, things like So that's magic, right? Depending on the orchestration, it's gonna be more like fantasy and magic. If we go big orchestral mophonic, then it's gonna sound more like supernatural grandeur. And I'm gonna use the same chords, just different instrumentation. It's gonna be homophonic orchestral. So we are basically using major triadic chords and we are connecting them by thirds and we get this supernatural grandeur fantasy type of sound. Now, if we make these chords minor, then it sounds more ominous and it sounds darker, sounds something like this. Basically what we've got here is the C minor to A flat minor. That's what we did. And you can add choir to make it even more ominous. That's all from me. Are there more styles? Yes, there are more styles, but I guess you've got a lot to practice before we move to the next one. If you're still interested about more styles, in our free training I talk about 3 more styles: suspense, action, etc. And I also cover the production side of things, template, etc. If you're interested, link in the description. But that's gonna be it from me. If you've got any question, please post them down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.